Hello people, welcome to my first ever non-what if civilization started over mapping fence. So today we're gonna do a scenario where Peru creates an empire. So let's begin. So the first country that Peru is gonna be invading is this nation right here. Is Ecuador. Don't mind how it looks. So Peru, we're landing in Ecuador. And this is a fast takeover. They also take over the islands, but let's not go about the islands. So Peru fully annexes Ecuador into their nation. So something else I didn't say is that Peru is buffed up in this scenario. It's buffed up so that it can do this. So if you have watched 80s Pro before, you know what does buffed up mean. But if you've never watched 80s Pro, buffed up means that the nation Peru will be going after is Bolivia. Oh, they will be targeting Bolivia in this. This will start off sending their troops. And what I was saying is that buffed up means that the nation is when the nation's struggles are fully erased and doing well, they're strong enough to create an empire. Yeah, so that's what buffed up means if you didn't watch 80s Pro. But Bolivia gets fully taken over by the Peruvian army. So let's look at the peace treaty. So this is the peace treaty they end up coming up with. Peru gets this much land, and Brazil also got. And Brazil also got, I think, like this much land. Yeah. So Brazil didn't enter the war, but Peru wants to get an ally, so they allowed Brazil to take some land out of this. And you're gonna see these nations, this Bolivian nation unite with Chile, making Chile longer and giving it this part. So Chile is a strong nation. Even though Peru is buffed, I don't think Peru can fight against Chile. So as I was saying, Bolivia unites with Chile, and Chile doesn't like how Peru is going for this southern part of South America. So they will walk up to Argentina saying, let's create an alliance to fight against Chile's expansionist ideals. So they're gonna create an alliance to stop Chile from entering down south. So Peru can't invade this area until it's a little bit stronger. So they will be eyeing out Colombia. And they will be declaring war on Colombia. And you know what other nation joins? Yeah, Venezuela. And now since Venezuela joins the war against Colombia, so I'm in this layer fighting against Colombia, not with Colombia. So we see these two nations, and Colombia is a strong country, so I think it can. Two nations push into Colombia. Surprising Colombia, but mainly focuses their troops on Venezuela because Colombia and Venezuela don't like each other. So this is a good distraction for Peru to take over the nation. I don't know where's Colombia's capital. Mostly Peru takes over the nation, and this makes the Colombians happy because they didn't get taken over by the Venezuelans. So Colombia is happy about this. So Peru is angry that Venezuela did join, and they will be not giving Venezuela any land. Let's look at this peace treaty. Peru take over this much land, and Venezuela tries to convince Peru to give them this land up here, but Peru says no. So this is how much land Peru takes. They're creating a very big empire, a big one indeed. It's not. And these Colombians are happy not being in Venezuela. But something surprising happens. Colombia is happy that they didn't give the land Venezuela wanted to Venezuela, so Colombia will be making an alliance with the Peruvians. So we see them fighting against the nation they once fought with in this war. And when Venezuela is being invaded, another nation joins, and that nation is Guyana. You know the beef between Venezuela and Guyana. So let's look at this war. The Peruvians will be entering into and the Colombians into Venezuela. Take over this land until another nation joins this war. And this nation doesn't join for so this nation is Brazil. Brazil joins against the Colombians. So we see how much beef Colombia has with the world. And no one cares if, even this alliance doesn't care if Colombia gets invaded. We see that Guyana went into Venezuela, which they had already done, but I was forced to take them out because to add another nation, which is Brazil. we see the full connection between the Guyanan front and the Colombian front, where they take this land, the Brazilians, and now these two and more Venezuelans start joining against their own nation. So we see the end of Venezuela. So let's look at this peace treaty. So this is what it. Okay, so this is the peace. We see. See, Colombia get this land right here. Venezuela being left right to this. The Guyanans get this land. But this is the peace treaty. And now we see the moment of truth. Venezuela does get allies, which their allies are Colombia, Venezuela, and Guyana. Now we see one of the biggest allies, the ally that will change the tide of this war, Brazil, becomes also their ally. And Brazil secretly invaded another nation, and that nation was Guyana. I think this is Guyana. Yeah. If I'm wrong, just correct me in the comments, but don't go crazy. So Brazil invaded this neighbor of theirs. And this was a fast invasion. The fastest one of them all. Brazil ended up getting this land right here, taking all of Guyana. Brazil also went to the French and asked them to give up this land, but they refused. But Paraguay and Uruguay also joins this war, and becoming the war of the Americas, of the Southern Americas. The red team gets a big in Paraguay. Paraguay gets invaded fast, and I know Argentina's capital comes out somewhere here. This is a big invasion by the Brazilians, so this makes it difficult. The Blue Nations army fights, trying to take them out. So since the Blue Nations army is distracted there, the Red Nation will start invading from the south, from the Chilean, Bolivian area. And Brazil also takes over all of Paraguay. So they create a front line, a big one, that these nations have to worry about. After fully gaining at like a fairly big threshold, the Argentinians army pushes them back out of their coastline, and they try to make a landing in Uruguay, trying to liberate it, but they fail. And this is a big military movement, but the north is much stronger than the south because they have this. This is their front line. This is their area, and Uruguay has most likely beat Argentina, becoming the second strongest nation. So they fully cut them out of this coast. Let me fix something quickly. There's also these. And the Chile is officially knocked out of this war. So it's left up to Argentina. But the UK on these islands also does a small invasion. Well, but they won't be given any land because these nations are saying the UK doesn't belong. Nations are saying the UK doesn't belong there. And we see the South losing the war of South America. And I know I think there's an alliance in South America that stretches like this. But this alliance is disbanded. So let's look at the peace treaty. Treaty of the war. Brazil got this part, but also lost some land to Peru. I know they wasn't on the opposite side, but Brazil just gave this land as like a thank you from them for giving them the Bolivian land here. And also Peru united with Cambodia, and also Venezuela united also with Peru. A South American empire, a big one in that. So that'll be the end of this video. Tell me if you like this video. I might start creating more of these. Thank you for watching, and goodbye.